Hey guys, I'm back with my PK combo test hands. Let me just put these off to the side in a spot where I can actually get to them. So we're just gonna shuffle this up real quick. And I'm testing out a new way to record. Let's give it a cut. I hope the audio is a little more clear than the last one, but let's see what we got. We got this. This actually isn't bad. Because normally we would send wings off of torn scales anyway, so we don't really have to discard a cloak or anything. So we can just go ahead and normal summon Torn Scales effect to discard the wings for cost, and we could send a Fog Blade if we wanted to. Fog Blade will help with the thing, but since we don't have the extender, I just bumped the camera. Since we don't have an extender in hand, we actually do need to send a cloak. So we can banish the cloak and add that to our hand. The boots. And now we can special summon the boots. Link the boots. Let me get these on frame. Move these here. There we go. For the cherry beanie, let's try to put these in a way that they're all in frame. Okay. And then we go cherry beanie effect. We go through our deck. We send to the grave the graph. Then we go graph effect, special on this here. And we'll shuffle up here. Opponent woodcut. Then we will link again. For Torn Scales. Not Torn Scales. Rusty Bardiche. God, thinking about Torn Scales too much. Effect of Seer. Seer will summon back the Cherubini. And then we'll go Rusty effect. Rusty will go ahead and send Ragged Gloves and set a Fog Blade. And now we can actually make a Levier. Yeah, we can go there, effect targeting the gloves to summon, and then effect the Torn Scales to summon. And then we go overlay into our Levier. We go Levier effect, detach the one that's not Torn Scales because Ragged Gloves hasn't used its effect yet. And then we target our cloak to special summon cloak, and cloak effect target Rusty. Cloak will switch to defense, and Rusty will gain 800 attack. And then we go effect of gloves, banish gloves, and we send one PK from our deck to grave. And in this case, we'll go inside and Stain Greaves. We can banish Stain Greaves to special summon a PK from hand. Special summon that one. Go in for the Break Sword, Rusty effect, pop the Break Sword, Break Sword effect, summon back these two. You don't wanna summon back the boots. You need the boots in grave. Then you overlay these two as level 4s. Make the Dark Rebellion. And then you banish the Boots and Grave. And we add the rank up magic. And then we set the rank up magic. And we have a fog blade backed up by a rank up magic, so with that one hand where we essentially had like 2 bricks and it was hardly playable. This is basically just a Torn Scales combo. We have a fog blade, rank up magic, so we have, let's see, that's 3 negates, 3 monster negates, 4 monster negates, pop, and we have a droll in case they try to search. So that's what, 4, 5 interruptions, 6. We have 6 interruptions on our opponent's turn off of essentially 1 Torn Scales. Alright, so I'm going to reset again. Alright, and we're back. So the next PK build I want to test and the next deck profile I'm going to post is probably going to be a deck profile that involves Tour Guide, because I've been wanting to play Tour Guide again, and this deck currently has no Tour Guide. It's kind of like draw your extenders or draw your Torn Scales or bust. Let's put my deck right there, and we'll see what we got. We actually opened Torn Scales again, and we drew E-Telly for another extender. So we don't actually have to use Torn Scales effect right now. We can actually wait to summon it back later. So we can go Torn Scales, and we can special summon Boots. We can save the E-Telly for later, whenever we actually need it. Let's bring him down a bit. And then we go effect. Instead, since we opened the graph, we can't actually send the graph. So instead of sending just Seer and getting nothing off of it, that's why I put in Libic, to fix that one particular issue. And then our opponent will cut the deck. And then we'll go Libic effect, special summon the graph from our hand. And then we will link these ones for the Bardiche. Then we'll go Graph effect, and Graph will summon the Seer. The Seer will destroy itself, and then the Seer will trigger to summon back the Cherubini. So either way, we still get the Cherubini back, which isn't particularly important in the combo, but it's kind of important. But then we go Bardiche effect. We send the last missing piece, and I want to get the secret rare, just because pretty cards. That one, and we set the Fog Blade. Then we go Banish, and we add 1. Since we already used our Boots, we go and add our Stained Greaves to our hand. Our opponent will cut again, and then Torn Scales will trigger to summon himself. And since you special summon a PK, you can special summon your Stained Greaves, and you can raise its level by 1, but in this instance you won't, because you need it to be a level 3. And then you can go effect, and you don't need this extra Torn Scales in hand. You can have it in hand. You don't have to discard it to send the wings, because once this is engraved, which is going to be engraved anyway, you can use its effect, banish it, and then you can summon this out of hand for another level 3. But we have the E-Telly in hand, so we don't need the extra level 3. So we can go effect, discard, and we can send to the grave our Phantom Knight's wing. Since we didn't use his effect on summon, we opened our boots. And now we can make our rank 3 here. Into our Levier. And we can go Levier effect, detach the one that didn't use its effect yet, and special summon back the cloak. Always summon cloak back in attack position, because then you can go effect, target your Bardiche, switch to defense, and then its attack is raised by the attack of Ancient Cloak. So he's currently at 29. And here we can go and make another Levier, but there'd be no point in it. So we're going to effect of boots. Boots will search us our rank up magic a little bit early. We're not like ending our turn with this search here. But now we will go ahead, this will be in hand. Let me just flip this over. Banish to special summon any one of these. I'm just gonna go ahead and special summon this because we don't need to special summon the Stained Greaves. And if we get stuck with a PK in our hand, then it's fine. Yeah, this is fine. We can make a second Levier for the combo. We can effective Levier, detach one to special summon back the boots. And then here we can go ahead and activate the emergency teleport. Summon out Wielder. Our opponent will cut once again. And we already, yeah, we have 2 PKs in grave. Yeah. When we make another rank 3 here, we go into the Breaksword, Rusty effect, pop Breaksword. Then we go Breaksword effect, target literally any of our PKs. We already searched for our rank up magic, so we don't need anything else. We have practically everything we need in here. So we're just gonna go ahead and summon back these 2. And they're level 4s, so we're going to make our rank 4 here, our Dark Rebellion. And then these 2 we're going to link off. I bumped the camera again, my apologies. For Appaloosa. Not Appaloosa, IP. We'll get Appaloosa in a minute. And then to end our turn, we set the rank up magic, and our hand is completely empty at this point. We have no more cards in hand. But on our opponent's turn, see, right now we have like no negates. We have 1 Fogblade. I bumped the camera again. We have 1 Fogblade that they know about because we searched it. It's set off of Bardiche. But if our opponent activates a field spell or like a Tenki, or they normal summon a monster or anything, you can activate the rank of magic, but before you activate the rank of magic, you can activate the Fog Blade to negate a monster effect like a Stratos or a Tour Guide or anything that gets their effect on summon, or maybe even a Torn Scales or anything you want to negate with, and then they link it off and this goes to grave. If you have a Torn Scales in grave and another PK, what you can do is before you IP and before you rank up magic, on your opponent's turn, you already use 1 negate, and then you can go effect, and you can target any of your PKs, any of them. So in this case, I'm just gonna go ahead and target my boots to summon, and since you banish that, you can go effect and then summon. And then you flip your rank up magic, you banish 1 dark from the grave. I banish Graph. Target your Dark Rebellion, chain IP Masquerena. You chain and you link with all 4 of these. Those will get banished. Your Appaloosa, and Appaloosa will have 4 counters. These 2 will be banished. Appaloosa will have 4 counters, and this will rank up by 1 to this. So if we count the negates, you already used 1 negate, right? So you negated 1, and then on Summon of Dark Requiem, you got 1 pop from Bardiche, so that's another interruption, so that's 2. Then he's 3 on his own, that's 5 negates, or 5 interruptions, and then Appaloosa's 4 more. So you have 9 interruptions on your opponent's turn. This deck technically plays through Dark Ruler. The only difference is, if you wanted to play through a Dark Ruler, you'd only have these 4 plus 5, you'd have 5 interruptions, because you wouldn't be able to make your Appaloosa with the IP, because IP's effect would be negated by the Dark Ruler. but you'd still be able to make the Requiem for the 3 negates, and you still have the Fog Blade. So you'd have 4, not 5, 4. You'd have 4 interruptions through a Dark Ruler, or a Droplet, whatever you're playing against. But and then you have a lot of, well, once these get detached, you have quite a bit of follow-up for your next turn. So you can go into your Raider's Knight or your Ark Rebellion, or even your Access Code, and you can push for game off that. We'll do one more test hand here, and then our opponent will cut the deck. Let's say they cut it 3 times. Say they tried to brick us and they put 1 card at the bottom of the deck. Playing remote duels. Draw 5. Oh, they put our Torn Scales at the bottom. No, we bricked. Alright, let's see what we got. Oh, we opened a Torn Scales anyway. So this hand, there is no hand trap, there is no protection. This hand is all gas. I can still play through an Ash and most hand traps other than Nibiru. Nibiru I can't play through with this hand, but I can play through most other hand traps. So I would normal summon Effective Karimucha to special, Effective Torn Scales, discard the boots since we have 2 boots, and we send our Wing to grave. I like to think Torn Scales sending Wing is pretty standard, but that's just me. Move these down a bit. And we can save those 2 for later. We can link these 2 for our Cherubini, and then we go Cherubini effect. And now, since we didn't open any PKs, we can send our Graph. We don't need to send Libic. Libic is literally useless if I don't open up a PK. I mean, not PK, a Burning Abyss. Then we go Graph effect. Graph will summon Seer. I like to, by habit, I summon Seer to a zone that Cherubini points to, because there are some combos, or maybe you weren't able to play for whatever reason, and you just got to playing by doing something weird, and then you make your Cherubini later on, well, you have like a PK on the field, or maybe you have like a token, like a nib token or something like that, where Cherubini, if Seer was summoned here, then Seer would just destroy itself, and you'd get like no value off of it. So just by habit, I summon him to a zone that Cherubini points to, just for the extra protection from his own effect. And then I link those 2 for this one, and then we go Effective Seer to summon back the Cherubini. And then we go Rusty effect, and Rusty will send, I believe we're missing just the Cloak, and I want to grab the Secret Rare. I'm missing 1 Secret Rare Cloak to complete my set. Oh, then I don't know why I shuffled, because we gotta, I always forget. Never forget, you have to fully resolve Bardiche by setting Fogblade. Otherwise, the game turns into an accepted game state, where you didn't fully resolve your Bardiche and you don't have a Fogblade. Or they might, rule you as like you misplayed or something dumb. And since we opened the boots again, but we didn't use its effect, but we have the boot to use, we can go Banish to add, and the card that we add is going to be this one. Well, actually, now that I think about it, that hand actually had enough cards to play around Nibiru. Yeah, I could have played around Nib. This is not that combo, but I might show you that combo in a bit. Here is all pretty standard. We're just making our Leviair. And then Leviair will detach this one, the one that didn't use its effect, summon this, effect, target, switch defense. That I would I would recommend getting used to using its effect while you're playtesting to get into the habit of using its effects. So that way you're always boosting him to 29, because that boost lasts until the end of your opponent's turn. So it's sort of significant, because if they summon a monster that's like 22, 24, they can't get over your Bardiche for whatever reason, even though it typically doesn't happen, but it can happen. So keep in mind that can happen. And then we can special summon our boots here. Yeah, special summon boots, right? Oh no, don't special summon boots. That's my bad. Go wing. Special, boots, banish, and then add the rank up magic. If we open the rank up magic, we would just search another Fogblade, so we'd have a second Fogblade on the field. So that's an extra interruption. And this is gonna be essentially like 9 interruptions, like the last combo, but it could be more. It could be like 11. Because now we're going to make another Levier. And we go effect, detach to special summon. Yeah, we can go and make our IP right now. Because we didn't want to clog up that last zone. Otherwise, we'd have to use that card for it. And now we can special summon. Make our break sword. Break sword effect can Rusty will pop break sword. Break sword effect will trigger. And we will go and summon back this and this. We don't have a PK in hand, so we can't really use his effects. Make our Dark Rebellion here, and we have this left in hand. We already used our boots effect and our cloak effect. Then we set 1, and then we basically pass, and this is still like the basic combo. This is the board you want to get to with every single hand. You just want to have the rank up magic with a Fogblade, IP, Cherubini, and Rusty, because these two alone make the Appaloosa. And then you can go here and you can summon your Dark Requiem, and you have the Fogblade for more follow-up. So this combo gives you an Appaloosa for 2 inherently, gives you a pop off of this, and it gives you a random Fogblade because you got a Bardiche. So you get the pop, the Fogblade, you get an Appaloosa for 2, and Dark Requiem for 3. So you got 3 negates, 5, 6, 7 interruptions. You got 7 interruptions with 5 negates. So you can essentially interrupt your opponent's entire hand, and if you happen to have a hand trap, you have more. It's just really how you want to structure your combos when you're playing this deck. But this deck is consistent enough to where every hand, 9 out of 10 hands, is 100% playable. Even if you got to make something kind of subpar and only end on like 4 negates, you end on like I guess it's technically 5 interruptions, because you're still gonna pop something if you're kind of structuring it correctly. You're gonna pop 1 card, and you're also going to have 3 negates. But that was my PK combo test hands for my deck profile, which you can find on my YouTube channel. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe. Bye.